Hello YouTube, welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again. As you can see, the webcam is knackered and I don't know why I'm using this voice. I wasn't before hitting record. I just decided to launch into it for no good fucking reason. Anyway, Dwarf Fortress, shall we? I think we shall. Now, last session I was very much... hello Ocelot, welcome back to the... I already knew you were here. He's saying hello to YouTube, not me. I should have just ignored that. What a fool. I do have a mandrill image somewhere, Plutonium Jesus, I certainly do, but I feel like the effort it would take to locate it on my many hard drives would be too much to invest. Let's just get on with this little smug picture to replace the webcam for now. It's not excellently done. I mean, we could put a filter over it to make it look a little less, brutal. Should we do that? Should we put a filter on it? Should we play with my image? Let's give it a go. Where is it? There's me. If I right-click, click filters... What kind of filters can I put on this? We could have a little 3D transform. No, I don't think so. I don't think a colour correcting LUT is going to do much. Chroma key is going to look really weird if I chroma key out all the black or the white. Either way, it's going to look very odd. A dynamic mask. How about an image mask? That'll probably do the trick, won't it? Let's have a little look at the images available. It's going to be in the Twitch pics folder. Let's give it... how about this one? Does that look good? It's a bit much, isn't it? The animation really puts it over the edge. I suppose we could... what else could we use? Oh, this one doesn't look too bad. That's my usual one. Let's give that a crack. Oh, it's a little bit... That's better. There we go. That's what we're more used to, isn't it? Make my nose more colourful. I don't know if I can specifically edit parts of my facial anatomy. I think that's going to be too much difficulty. A red stripe down the middle and blue ridges on the sides. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit much. We should probably do some Dwarf Fortress because, we're already 2 minutes into the recording and I've not even moved from this very tedious looking pond and magma setup. So let's go back up to the surface, take a little look at what's going on outdoors, just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it, you understand. And what we can see here is that there is nothing going on outdoors. Absolutely sod all. There's no activity on the surface. There's no activity within the... Well, that's not entirely true. We do have some traders sitting in the trade depot. But technically they're kind of pseudo-hostages to the siege. I mean, we haven't taken them prisoner, but we're certainly not opening the gates to let them escape. I say escape. Let them go. Let them leave. Why use the suggestive phrase escape? That's unnecessary. That's not going to go down well with the PR company in charge of keeping me looking good after this hostage situation breaks. Oh shit. Hello Fairyman. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back, in fact. Thank you for joining us again. Apologies for the lack of web camera. There has been some untoward wire wiggling going on and unfortunately my webcam no longer functions. Which is a tragedy. A shame. Well, I say a tragedy. There are obviously far worse things going on in the world at the moment. There are obviously far worse things going on in this... Dwarf Fortress world at the moment, although I don't see any of the evidence that I know should be there. Let's unpause the game, let it roll for a bit. Because last time, we very much had an undead siege going on, didn't we? And for some reason it appears to have stopped. Oh no, I remember. The undead siege had passed, full of necromancers it was, and they'd animated a ton of body parts which were crawling all over the surface and attempting to get into our fortress, which is an issue. I'm not going to deny that, but we do have a sort of defence force of traders' bodyguards available, so let's open the gates. Let's not worry too much about undead. Let's just throw open the gates and hope that we don't start losing people again. Actually, no, didn't I swear off the outside last time? Hello, Static. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. Didn't I swear off the fortress outdoors last time because we were losing people? I'm looking at the population count. And we've got 50 adults, 20 children, and 0 vulnerable babies. And that's gone down from 54, owing to people dying on the surface. I wish I hadn't been drinking last time. I can barely remember what was going on. All I remember is some sort of nonsense about eagle loincloths and bloody battle boners, which was inane, trivial stuff, whereas the serious stuff that was going on obviously got ignored. Dear oh dear. Doing very well, Ferryman. Thank you very much. Hello, Righteous Boner. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us in. Glorious 5? Question mark. What's Glorious 5 mean? Is that the time it is now? In Egypt? No, it's the same time in Egypt as it is here, isn't it? Egypt and London are in the same time zone, aren't they? Or am I? We've had this conversation before. Let's remove the game. Did I put the... Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't even know if I set the order to pull the lever. I didn't. There we go. Add pull now. There we go. We're opening the front gate. We're going to hope that not too many undead... No, wait, I've vacillated at least 3 times already on whether I should do this or not. Well, it's too late now. I've pulled the lever. Let's go down to the mines and fatally ignore what could be a massive issue for our population. So the plan here, obviously, is to get some more water in, because looking at this, the water that's coming in is not enough to set these magma bits turning into obsidian. So winning, I'm not really sure if that counts, does it? I mean, Dwarf Fortress, is there a win condition? I don't think there is. I don't think it's possible to win Dwarf Fortress, unless somehow you devise a form of competitive play between 2 people from the same embark. Is that possible? Could we be looking at the birth of an e-sport here from a throwaway comment by Furriman in my chat? Is there a possibility that one day we'll all be standing in Madison Square Gardens, waving enormous pointing foam fingers above our heads, screaming for somebody to get their stockpile set up quicker? Could that be the case? I don't think so. I don't think so. They are the surviving dwarves who killed a rock in Sal's stream. Ah, I see. Oh, and you're one of the Glorious Five, I take it. Well done, Righteous. Speak of the devil, look, Salford Sal's been found dead! Oh, that's, shit. Let's investigate. Thank God she has a legacy. In the square where Salford Sal's corpse is, we have a pigtail coat, llama wool trousers, dense fescue grass, a pile of vomit, walnut leaves, and walnuts. Vomit and walnuts, that classic combination. It would appear that opening those gates was indeed a fatal error, fatally specifically for Salford Sal. Let's have a quick look at the population system and see what's going on. We've got, prior to this little incident, 50 adults, 20 children and 0 vulnerable babies. Let's refresh and see that we have now lost no adults. So Sal had died prior to the last census take. Interesting. She was only found this stream. She's been dead for a while, festering out in those woods. Heavens above, it's lucky she wasn't reanimated by some errant necromancer. Hello Druids Mead, welcome back. Good evening all you the bad guys from that video for Take On Me Beards. Take On Me Beards? I don't think I've seen that one. I don't know. I'm going to have to try and figure out how a dwarf would sing Take On Me. Probably in some form of underground cavern-based throat singing, I would imagine. Maybe not. Hello, Alceris. I'm going to go for Alceris at first, and then maybe I'll be corrected. Who knows? Welcome to the streams. Thanks for joining us. Doomed Mortals. That's very presumptuous. This is all over the internet. Well, I say it's all over the internet. It's available all over the internet. Anybody could be watching, including those fated for glory or happiness, and maybe even immortals. Although, outside of a few forms of single-celled organisms and sort of very simple organisms, I don't think immortality is particularly common, is it? I remember someone telling me that lobsters were immortal, and then telling me that they could grow too big and die, which kind of suggests to me that they're only as immortal as they can grow slowly. Who knows, though? Well, probably lobster scientists. F's in the chat for Sal, because unfortunately she was a bright leading light of this fortress, an absolute beacon in the darkness, a beautiful woman with many, many children, and according to the investigations made after childbirth, she had a fanny like a windsock. But that's 5 kids for you. That's 5 kids for you. Anyway, wait. Soft C is correct. Alceris, thank you very much for the wonderful validation of my pronunciation. Nice. Righteous Bonus says, is the Pope 5000 still alive? I tell you what, let's do a namey check and see what goes on. Let's have a little peeky poo at the names. So if I sort by has nickname, scroll to the top of the list, we can see we have 44 dwarves still alive with nicknames, and 26 alive with no nicknames. Let's have a little look who's here. Dragon Min, in fact, let's sort by alphabetical order. There we go. Dragon Min, erroneously named Arrow, Orchimedes, Akira, Arctrect, Arsenoctopus, Asbestos, Baby Sal Sir, child number 1 of the now departed Sal, Billy Big Balls, oh, he was a big boy last time, wasn't he? What did he do? Oh, he was the guy who ran across the surface with his head tucked into an eagle's... No, his penis head tucked into a little eagle head. Anyway, enough of that. Someone will have to watch the VOD if they want to decode that madness. Brad _ Buckshot Brigade, Col Salor, child number 2 of our poor dear departed beloved matriarch of the fortress. Conan Dude, Dave version 3, Defecatius, Diana Sucks, Cult Druids Mead, Dernoy Yeblan. Still not sure that's entirely a wise thing to have in there, but we'll see. Ariane, Fuzzy, as in Fuzzy Logic, Hyben No Way, Canada, Keek 100, Kid of Burden, Krabucus, the 2 Krabucuses, as we've not yet corrected our error, and we have this doppelganger scenario playing out. Lettuce Prey, child number 3 of Sal? I think so. Lord Shaper 85, Mr. Hapderp, Northwesterhausen, also known as Nick, Oafs a Little, Oafs a Lot, Oronog, Potato Salad, child number 4, question mark, Quatch, Ravelin, Rowboat, Salad Cream, child number 5, and then Scound Belly. Oh no, wait, there's more. Stratosphere 24, the Pope 5000 is definitely still alive, righteous. Tidy, Zabc, one day they'll come back and they'll tell me how to pronounce it again. And then, of course, at the bottom here, the YouTube viewers. So, we have had deaths, obviously, but hopefully those of you who want dwarves named after you will get them. Hopefully that will play out nicely. Unfortunately, I don't have the queue open at the moment, so you just bear with me. If I go over here to Community, Channel Points, that's right, open that in a different window. Manage Rewards and Challenges, Review Requests queue, bosh, there we go. So now I've got that open, we can see what's going on. Somebody, Picture Point, has already requested Salford Sal to get a replacement character. I tell you what, we will, for sure, we'll have Sal too, but we'll give her a chance to turn up and see if she wants to apply any weird naming conventions, because you never know what she might want to call it. And then Fairyman has also requested a dwarf, in which case this is a request that must be met. So tick mark complete. We'll come down here, do a little bit of eye closing, mouse wheel rolling, up and down scrolling, and what have we got here? Monon, a peasant. Ooh, hello. Set nickname, paste. Ah, shit, I didn't copy your name. Just glance over to chat. Furryman. There we go. And commit. You're in. Lovely, lovely. Trees are kind of immortal. I mean, they're not, but I mean, because they don't live forever. There are some pretty old trees. Certainly some of the oldest organisms on the planet that we know of are trees. There's some trees that are thousands of years old, but I don't think we can call them immortal. I don't think they could, even, I think they just get so big they can't survive. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there are some actual technically immortal trees. Do Google it. Let me know the real answers there. Hello, Dr. Phineas. Welcome back. Oh, Archimedes. That's right. She was your wife. Oh, dear. Love of your life, light of your lifestyle. Light of your lifestyle. She's gone. It's sad. Oh, hang on. I'm back on the market, ladies, says Archimedes. So there was a good, speedy turnaround. Got all the way through the grieving process in the space of 2 lines. Very good. Well done. As Druidsmead has rightly noted. Alceris says, any mods used for this? No, just playing vanilla, although I did have a little fiddle with the world generation settings. I nearly said Seasant, because I saw Ferryman say, nice, I'm a peasant, and for some sudden reason, the word peasant crossed with the word I wanted to say. Yeah, no mods. I suppose I am using DFAC. I'm running it from the Lazy Noob pack, put it that way. So anything that would be on modded from that as standard, yeah, definitely. Anything else? No. Anything that I'd have to think about definitely hasn't happened. Anyway, I suppose now that we've discovered Sal's festering corpse in the woodlands, in that little pile of vomit and walnuts, we should probably encourage the dwarves to get her inside. Now, I noted that the corpse was part of a task, so I'm guessing that somebody is fully intending... Excuse me, terribly sorry. There we go. Somebody's fully intending to yank her back into the graveyard and stick her in one of our sarcophagi. So, fingers crossed that'll get done before I decide to slam the gate shut again, because we don't want more undead charging in. That would be a problem. That's true, Plutonium Jesus. Hydra, one of the creatures I was thinking of. That's one of the things I was thinking of when I said simple life forms. Because they're not exactly what you would call complex beasts. I can't imagine there are many immortal mammals out there. And again, be nice, wouldn't it? Maybe Highlander wasn't actually a film, a work of fiction. It was a revelation of the truth, the reality of the world as we don't know it. Seems unlikely. I think we'd have noticed by now if there were people running around chopping each other's heads off and causing lightning storms. It seems like the kind of thing you'd pick up on pretty quickly. I mean, as a journalist, not me, obviously, but a journalist in that scenario would probably want to write about it. Then again, maybe they'd fear being called crazy. Or that their boss might indeed be a head-chopping immortal. It's entirely possible. I mean, in that scenario, not in the real world. Christopher Lambert, very much not an immortal. Then again, I'm not basing that on any kind of medical knowledge, it's just my opinion. Is there any such a thing as like a libel for saying whether or not somebody could die? I doubt it. Indeed, Alceris, I don't think I'd want to see that kind of carry-on playing out in the real world. We probably have enough generic beheadings going on in the world as it is now. I think, any amount is probably a little bit too many. Even if it's just the one year there was only one beheading in the entire world, nobody should have jumped up and down in celebration. They should have been going, fuck, we couldn't quite do it. We couldn't quite manage as a collective group of everybody to stop that happening. Still, I don't think there are many things that you could stop happening entirely just by, wanting it to happen and asking people not to do it. I'm pretty sure if there was something that nobody was doing and you stood up and asked everybody not to do it, a lot of people would just start doing it. They would immediately do it. You're better off not mentioning that thing even exists if you don't want it happening. Just, let nature take its course. What on earth am I going on about? Some bloke from Aberystwyth University fancies the ginkgo for immortality. They are a bit OP as trees go. OP trees. Intriguing. And what qualities would you say elevate the ginkgo tree above its fellow timber things? Timber things? Don't ask me. Xavier St. Cloud says, holy shit, who's that handsome fellow standing in for the Scoundrel M? Like, that is superhero sexy right there. Well, that's actually me with a very flattering two-tone photo, so I wouldn't get too excited. It's still the gut-laden, tit-ridden lad that was caught on camera a few days ago. Righteous says, believe me, your journalist boss only cares about article traffic. You can write all the feck you want. That's true, maybe that. But at the time, if we consider not Hellraiser, what am I talking about? If we consider the film Highlander as a period piece, or, well, I suppose it would be a periods piece, wouldn't it? Because it's like most of human history. But anyway, if we were to consider it a period piece, at the time, pre-internet, then very much it would have been a different story. There would have been less about churn and more about like story integrity. Not entirely. I'm sure there was plenty of journalistic churn back in the day, but I just feel like someone would be more, less click motivated. He says, clicking away bad luck in the background. I feel like there has to be some scenario where a beheading makes sense. In an accident, yeah, but I don't think so. I can't envision any scenario in which a beheading makes sense, other than some sort of, like, in a physics sense, like if some kind of Rube Goldberg contraption goes off, which inevitably leads to a beheading, then that makes sense on a sort of physical level. But I don't think on any sort of like rational level, beheading really makes sense. It's one of those big sort of, not romantic, that's the wrong word, sort of excessive gestures, We're not just going to fucking kill you. We're going to chop your fucking head off. That's, it's excessive, no matter what. At that point, realistically, it's showboating. No matter, that's what it is. You think about the spectacle of the French Revolution, where they were getting out and all the local peasantry were watching as the nobles' heads rolled. They could have done any different method, but they chose to do the head chop. Anyway, where were we? This is getting weird. They can pump out antioxidants and protective coatings. Back to the immortal ginkgo tree. Intriguing. I had no idea. You should behead every snake's head you see. Should we? You showed the first Highlander movie to my mates and they utterly hated it. Well, don't show them the rest of them then. Fucking hell. That's a series that has, I was going to say wildly varied quality, but I think really the first one, which I haven't seen for a very long time, would stand up to any scrutiny. I feel like the older ones, the newer ones, probably not quite as good. There was a TV series of some, reasonable mediocrity. It wasn't terrible, that's what I'm saying. Isn't it technically a more humane way of execution than our current methods? Personally, Ravelin, I don't have any methods of execution which I endorse whatsoever. We don't have the death penalty in the UK, although I think there's some kind of loophole where you can be executed for piracy on the high seas, specifically. I'm not 100% on that one. I'm not going to go hanging any pirates, so it's not really going to make any difference to my life one way or the other, but I'm pretty sure you can't get executed for anything in the UK. They weren't keen on the guillotine at first because it wasn't enough of a spectacle. They preferred the old hung, drawn and quartered stuff. I mean, honestly, like if beheading people is showboating as a form of execution, then hanging, drawing and quartering is a fucking Alice Cooper gig. That's Gwar. That's the point where someone's on stage, like with another head on a stick, like waving it around, going, "Do you want more? Do you want more?" That kind of behaviour. That's like metal album cover material right there. That's not justice. That's madness. No, it's all right, Druidsmead. It's not just old Spectrum games. It's if you have to do it on a boat for it to count. I think. I'm not entirely sure. Alceris says, very wisely drawing the conversation back towards Dwarf Fortress, like some kind of benevolent shepherd, in Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode, my most common method of killing my foe, here we go, is cutting off their heads. It's just generally the quickest method. Well, here was me thinking you were some kind of hero, pulling us back into the realms of sanity, making things about Dwarf Fortress once again, but it was only a half-truth. Like ashes on my tongue, the congratulations feel unnecessary. Anyway, let's get back to Dwarf Fortress, shall we? I've caught up with chat. Let's see what's happening here. I'm going to do a quick population check just to make sure we're not losing people to undead body parts on the... Oh, fuck! Okay. Yikes. Okay. Let's... Wow. Back to Dwarf Therapist for a second, because our new population, our new petite lightweight population, is 38 adults, 19 children, and 0 vulnerable babies. But hey, that's only a massive, massive loss. There's been an absolute slaughter taking place while I've been sitting here talking about the relative humaneness of beheadings. Let's press R and take a look at the combat logs, because... Ooh, it looks like Pope Fight 1000 may well be part of the... No, Pope Fight 1000 is still alive. He's in the fighting, he's in the thick of it, but he's a survivor. My goodness, this wasn't expected. Very unexpected. The debodifier, that is a way of looking at it. You could look at it as cutting people's bodies off. Very different. The Queen still hates the pirates. The pirates' bands of misfits were right. I like that film. That was a good movie, Pirate Band of Misfits. It was called Pirates and Scientists somewhere in the world. Can't remember. You wouldn't download a Somali attack skiff. Quite right, I wouldn't. Hey, Sal. Do you want the good news or the bad news? I'll tell you what, good news first. Let's butter you up before the bad news. You're not involved in the fighting. Bad news is, it's because you're dead. You've already been... Well, I was going to say been killed, but succumbed to the Reaper. How about that? Oh, you all right? You feeling bad? Yeah, you're dead. I mean, we gave you a bit of a eulogization. There was a little bit of is it hagiography when you're being nice about people, or is that horrible? The nice one. We were saying nice things about you. I mean, I did say, owing to the number of children you've had, you've got a fanny like a windsock, but honestly, that's just science, and you can't hold that against me. Good lord. Succumb to the wild boar partial skeletons. Very probably, although we don't know. We haven't seen the cause of death. We've only seen that your corpse was discovered, and after a quick census, I realised that you'd already been dead before the beginning of the episode, so you died during my drunken stupor last session. Bad news. Bad news indeed. Hello, Tidy. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Orchimedes was crying into his beer and then, started doing the can for some reason. And he moved on. That's quite right. Anyway, let's have a little look and see. Oh, it looks like it's opossum skeletons and dingo partial skeletons. Hopefully we haven't lost any of our military to this. Oh, there's a wild boar sow head. There's been a wild pig head rolling around outdoors that's killed people. Who's this? Bites the weaponsmith. Yikes. The wild boar sow head bites the weaponsmith in the upper body, tearing the fat and bruising the left lung. That's pretty impressive. You've got to make it through the ribs to bruise the lungs. Or at least the impact has to. Although, hang on, he's alright. He's doing a steel pick rebuttal, so it's not too bad. At least he's not done for. I'm just going to zoom to where these fighty things are happening. He's been retching and vomiting. Oh, it's right here. It's right here in the gateway. Okay, there's only one response to this, so I'm going to go back over to the fortress. Excuse me. Apologies. And we're going to set a military alert to bring everybody back safe and sound into the confines of our burrows. And then we're going to begin an extended memorial slab engraving session. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds like the kind of thing the fortress needs right now. Here's me. I spent a good few minutes thinking, should I open the gates? Shouldn't I open the gates? Should I open the gates? And then I ignored all of the reasons I came up with not to open the gates and just flung them open. And here we are now. Stuck with population rapidly plummeting, probably in the verge of a serious tidal wave of PTSD. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. Question mark. 33 adults. Queer. No. Dwarf therapists. 38. 38 adults. 19 children. I don't know if your 5 children survived yet, Sal. Once everyone's indoors, we'll have a little look at the numbers. We'll see how it plays out. But I can't guarantee it. Hello, Dragonfire. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. That's true, Ravelin. I think Sal should be given some form of dwarven medal for what she managed to do. That's true. Druid's Mead has done quite well. He does count the slabs. He's the one counting the dwarves out of the door and then counting them as they come back in, then doing the subtraction required to find out how many slabs he needs to engrave. Oh, fuck. So, we've got it paused, haven't we? Let's unpause it now that the military alert's been called. Get everyone indoors and, hopefully have a little survivors powwow. While you're watching the very exciting stuff going on here, look at all this. Oh, look at this corridor filled with vomit and dead people and wriggling undead reanimated body parts. It's amazing, isn't it? Honestly, close your eyes, think of it, imagine it. It'll be much better special effects. Let's oh my god, look at the number of actual namies who are children now. It's like a very, very high percentage. So, salad cream, that's 1. Potato salad, that's 2 still alive. Baby salsa, not lettuce pray. She can't be gone. Oh, lettuce pray. They never even got the temple made for her. Damn. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 of your children. Only the one who had been anointed from birth as our high priest died. That's a bad religious symbol right there. I think that's a sign. That's a sign that we probably want to put a little bit less effort than the 0 effort so far that we've put into the temple. Okay. I think the traders may have gone. No, I still see a camel in there and a couple of lads. Everybody's got to be inside by now, right? 21 frames a second, me sitting there jibber-jabbering for a few minutes. They've got to have made it, right? I know, your favourite baby, your favourite babby, or as they say further north, your favourite wee bairn. Although I'm not entirely sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Could be, could not be as well. Oh, there's a lot of purple notifications going on here about people being found dead. Although they don't appear to be... here we go. ZBC, Stratosphere 24, Stairmaster 400, Druid's Mead. Druid's Mead. All that talk about being the manager, keeping you safe, turns out very wrong. Hyber No Way, Conan Dude, Ocelot, Ocelot's dead. Keek 100, dead. And these are only the confirmed dead. There could be more out there. There could be more poor young or old lives out there in the field mouldering. That's not a good sign, is it? That's terrible. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. This dwarven Sal is probably the longest lived Sal. Oh goodness, we'll have to check how old she was when she died. Don't say that, because the longest lived Sal is basically an analysis of the entire group of Sals, which would include you as well. So, my God. Then again, I suppose if we look at dwarven years, maybe she lived longer than you? How old was Sal? We'll never know now. We'll never be able to find out. Well, we could look in Legends mode, but that would require me to actually do some difficult tinkering. Actually, not even difficult. Medium difficulty tinkering. To be fair, it's unlikely. Shame that you can't have a creature breathe fire without making them immune to said fire, because otherwise they'd melt themselves. I suppose so. Although I find that would be a very Dwarf Fortress situation to have unfold, like the fire-breathing ice creature that just goes, oh god, I'm steam. I think that would be interesting. And also, do they necessarily breathe fire? I'm sure this came up in another stream I was watching recently, but I can't remember exactly. But do they maybe perhaps vomit fire? I feel like breathing it seems unlikely. I feel like it's more likely to be kind of, if it's a chemical reaction, that's coming from the tum-tum, right? That's a Gutty Works thing. Or maybe not, who knows? They should make ads for not drinking and playing Dwarf Fortress. That's right, do not drink and Fortress. That's not going to work well. Excluding me, the Sal, dwarven Sals don't usually last long enough to have 5 children. That's true. But then again, she may have been, like, legendarily fecund. I mean, were they all born on separate years? There could have been some doubling ups. I mean, how much time as a percentage of her life did she spend doing the pleasurable act of child creation? Who knows? Righteous Bonus says the cyborg Pope lives. He will carry this fort on his mechanical back. Does he? Does he live? He does live, doesn't he? Pope 5000? I think he survives. Question mark? Yes, Pope 5000 is good. I didn't realise he was a cyborg. Has he got a peg leg? Some kind of napalm gland and flints in their teeth. I remember watching an animated thing quite some time ago as a child. And in that, there was a person transported to a magical fantasy realm. And he was a scientist and sort of was always overanalyzing the sort of magical stuff. And it was a problem for the magical world he was in. I very vaguely remember it. But the dragons in that were able to breathe fire because they filled their bodies with helium or hydrogen or something. And they were like big floating, neutrally buoyant balloon creatures that could vent the fire and had sparking glands in their teeth. Does anyone remember that? Anyone remember that? Maybe they have a different organ for creating the fire rather than the lungs or stomach. The pyro gland. The pyro... The fire... I'm trying to portmanteau fire words with body part words, and it's turning out to be less fruitful than I imagined. In my mind, my little comedy sensor went, "Ooh, this will be a rich vein. Start swinging your pick, scoundrel." And then the word glands came back. The word glands, the word centers in my brain came back dry and said, "Nope, not happening." Hot air balloon dragons. That's true. They could go for hot air balloon, but I feel like has anyone ever done a hot hydrogen balloon? I mean, that obviously sounds like it's a disaster waiting to happen, but I suppose if you've already got a neutrally buoyant gas, heating it would make it even less dense? That's interesting to think about. Also, hydrogen leaches through a lot of things that you put it in, but other gases wouldn't be able to leach back through, so maybe you could create like a vacuum balloon. Oh god, I'm going off on a weird rabbit hole. Calm me down. Stop me. Petrol bollocks. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure petrol bollocks would work, but maybe something like that. That did mean that if they breathed fire, they'd lose hydrogen and start sinking to the ground. In the thing. Wasn't the Hindenburg a hydrogen airship? Yeah, probably. I mean, it wouldn't have burned quite so badly if they were using helium, would it? Wouldn't have burned terribly at all. I think the thing that sparked off the Hindenburg was like a static electrical discharge because of the paint they had on it or something. A flame sack. Yes. No. Hang on. I've got it. Pyrobladder. Oh, yes, that's what I'm going with. A pyrobladder. Because then that sort of brings about pissy imagery, which makes me giggle. Helium is a noble gas, so not flammable. That's right. That's right. Lighter but more unstable, says Robot in Progress. Yeah, so yeah, you would make your gas much more... Yeah, true, but... So if you could heat helium up, would that become a... A hot helium balloon. Oh, it looks like we've been raided by a forgotten beast. Hold on. Static electricity from dragging the ropes across wet ground and some other sciencey nonsense. Oh, sciencey nonsense. Sounds cool. The forgotten beast on Moslukokatang. The forgotten beast on Mosluktang has come. A great feathered tapir. It has 3 stubby horns, and it has a bloated body. Its amethyst feathers are long and sparse. Beware its noxious secretions. Oh, I will. Thank you very much for pointing them out. However, it's not in Cavern Layer 3. It's in Cavern Layer 1 or 2, and therefore about it I give not 1 shit. Not 2 shits, but no shits. Or, indeed, should we go further, any fucks. Let's have a little look. Nobles are definitely flammable, especially when they get lippy. That's a very good point. Actually, if I just check the gates are shut. The gates are shut. Let's have a little look and see how the... Yikes! Whoa. Okay. We appear to have had elections to replace the mayor, if they've been lost. I don't remember Saxel being the mayor. Then again, I don't know who the mayor was. But we appear to have lost every other person who had any kind of noble role in the fortress. It's been pretty bad. That's okay. It can fly all at once, Sal. It's not a problem. Wasn't its balloon painted with essentially thermite? Yeah, there was something about something they painted onto it that had made it even more flammable, and that there was a huge spark that ignited it, and then the whole thing went up like a fucking great big balloon full of hydrogen. Sounds like a punk band who repels against science rather than rebels. If only you'd fully misspelled that as rappels with an A, and then we could imagine them all climbing down science like a tower. Dr. Phineas says it was an iron oxide and aluminium paint, so not quite thermite, but, pretty much. Pretty much. Oh no. We've got to watch out now. Now that that's been mentioned, we've got to set a countdown timer before someone mentions fucking 9/11. Right, where were we? Let's have a look and see what roles we can assign. Well, the first one we want to assign will be the bookkeeper. Start from the bottom. Hello. It looks like the YouTube viewers are a legendary record keeper. I feel like that's probably the best use for them. In you go. Next we've got the broker. Who's a good broker? We've got an adept persuader, negotiator, judge of intent, liar, intimidator, conversationalist, comedian, flatterer, consoler, pacifier. It doesn't look like anybody has any kind of appraisal skills. Fuck. Shall we put Melville, the armourer, in charge? We may as well. They've been put on top of the list of qualified people, so... I mean, I know it's not best hiring practice just to go, who's on top? That one. But, there is a certain honesty to that kind of policy. Let's do it. Fuck it. Melville, you're in. Well done. Social elevation. And wait for it. There we go. A little bit muted farting this evening owing to the placement of a cushion on the chair. Chief Medical Dwarf. Do we have anybody qualified? No. Nobody is qualified to be our Chief Medical Dwarf. Do we have any medical dwarves in the fortress? Let me have a quick look at Dwarf Therapist. We'll find out. Diagnosers. Oh, hang on. That's better. Diagnosers. No. Surgeons. Yes. Ah, man. Okay. I mean, surgery is a big stage to skip to, isn't it? I mean, ideally, you do want a diagnoser to step in first before the surgeon starts pulling on his gloves. I mean... just having some, exploratory surgery. So what seems to be the problem? I don't feel very well. Oh, good. Nurse, pass me my scalpel. I'm just going to have a little look inside. Oh, yes. I see what the problem is. I've cut you open and you're bleeding to death. What a tragedy. Next. Wound dresser. Slightly less amazing, but let's go for Tun. Tun Okozlan. He can be our Chief Medical Dwarf because he's a surgeon, and he had to do an extra few years at medical school, and now we call him Mr. instead of Doctor. What was his name? Tun Ossos clan. Dwarf Fortress. I mean, do we technically need a new one yet? Can we wait until... You know what? I'm not going to put a brewer in charge of being our medical dwarves because he's got a scalpel and some skill. We're going to leave it. We're going to let someone good turn up. What have we got for a manager? That was manager, wasn't it? Yes, manager. Well, Buckshot Brigade is a legendary organiser. He's a union man. Also Archimedes. And Dave, Grand Master. And Lord Shaper 85. Well, you know what? Dave, Archimedes and Bucky. I tell you what. Who's here? Is Dave here? I don't think Dave is here. I haven't seen him in chat. Archimedes is here, definitely. What about Bucky? Do you want it, Archimedes? It's a shoe-in if you're up for it. If you fancy the challenge, let us know. It seems like it's right up your street. You're a legendary organiser. Let's sort of put it as a kind of, it was your wife who died. She's popped her clogs. Let's try and cheer you up with a promotion. Good? Exactly, Sal. Exactly. They do. They've got a lot of skin in the game. More skin than they would like, I would imagine. The cyborg Pope can do the healing. They'll end up as Cybermen. I don't think, through my, at best, thin surface level knowledge of the Doctor Who milieu, I don't think that Cybermen would do very well as any kind of administrator in a dwarven facility. Mainly because dwarves' proclivity for digging up gold. I don't think it would work. I watched the second Maleficent film last night, and I've got a lot of bones to pick with that movie. There is a lot of weird shit going on that just blew my mind. There's like an immediate forgival of a war criminal. It's unbelievable. Anyway, we'll come back to that another time. Archimedes wants it. He wants it. He gets it. Whatever Archimedes wants, Archimedes gets. That didn't come out the way the original song sounded at all. Hammerer. Do we need a hammerer? Is anyone qualified? I mean, I suppose the only thing you need to be able to do as a hammerer is hit your target, right? Do we want a militia commander? We've got an adequate leader in Tun Okoslan, the brewer, who is also a powerful surgeon and wound dresser. He's the same guy we had up for other stuff. You know what? Before we do any of this, make any decisions in this area, let's go over to the military screen and see if any of our squad died in that kerfuffle. Oh shit, 4 of them died. Yikes. Which means... their armour had better not be outside. If you silly little fuckers have worn your adamantine armour outside... Oh god, the squad leader's dead. We could have a stack of artifact adamantine armour sitting outside on a fucking corpse. You guys can't see it, but I've got all 4 of my first 4 digits just pressed against my temples. It's most distressing, this. If you appoint a hammerer, you want somebody who is specifically not qualified. True, but we do have an artifact adamantine adamantine hammer to give them, because that got made, didn't it? So we can give them an effectively useless toy weapon. Oh, what a savage bomb guff to the face. The loss of that armour is like someone shitting on my soul. No, taking a dump and using my soul as a Rizzler to skin that dump up and then forcing me to smoke it. Arse candles. How many of these lads are even capable of it? One of them's in the fucking hospital. 2 of them. Akira and Zan, both in the hospital. Let me guess, they're rock hard. Well, only Akira. Mind you, Zan's not exactly anything to be sneezed at. He's a level 4 swords dwarf. We've really got to get this military stuff sorted out. It's terrible. Oh, your loss was much more elegantly and eloquently mourned. Don't worry. Don't worry. It was fine. Bone guff. Well, I meant to say bum guff. And then I said bone guff because I think I saw the word bone on one of these menus here. But you don't want a bone guff. Oh, that's a terrible, horrible... Yeah, it's like worse than the bends. If you've got bone guffs, it's all of your flatulence gets redirected internally into your bone marrow, and it can cause horrible, horrible bubbles to form in your bone marrow, which leads to crippling injuries and death. This is a lot more graphic than I intended it to be. It was supposed to be a very light-hearted little imaginary ailment, but no. Turns out I've invoked the name of at least one horrific way to die. Bum guff. That's right, a bum guff. The normal kind of guff. The normal kind of guff. The only real, actual kind of guff. Any other guff is a pretender to the throne. Even the queef, not a true guff. Anyway, where are we? What is happening? Why am I even talking anymore? I've lost my mind. Well, yes, we're looking for a militia commander and new military dwarves. Well, let's have a little scroll up and see who's got some military skills. We've got a lot of level 3 fighters here. We've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Saxul, however, has already been given some form of role. Saxul is the mayor. Oh, great. I'm sorry, Ravelin. I didn't mean to hurt you with my words. I didn't mean to. I tried. Blood for the guff, but God, guff for the guff throne. That's what you got to do. Guff for the guff throne. I wouldn't mind a guff throne. A special chair designed to amplify the sound of a fart and perhaps add some level of musical tonality to it. That would be nice. Imagine that. Imagine some form of horn, like that of a gramophone, sticking out from between the legs of a chair, and a sort of very carefully placed bowl. It couldn't be a reeded instrument. I don't think I could pucker my buttocks adequately to get the right notes out of it. But as long as it's like a sort of just a free-blown horn, I think it would work. And maybe some kind of lever to constrict, to choose your note, perhaps? I don't know. This has gone very weird, very quickly. Militaries, that's it. Yay! Back to the killing. So the YouTube viewers are now actually kind of indispensable. We don't want to be putting them in charge of anything because they've got, in the military indeed, because they're our bookkeeper. However, I am now noticing that they've got 13 kills under their belt, which seems like a lot. 10 humans and 3 dogs. I mean, outside of the confines of the world of Dwarf Fortress, those are some troubling numbers. I mean, that's like the kind of thing, you know, if you learn that about somebody, you go, oh, really? 10 humans and 3 dogs. Yikes. That's a lot of dead. What about this one? What about the Pope 5000? I mean, do we want to turn this into a holy war? Do we want to send the Pope into the battlefield, into the theatre of conflict? He is a spear-wielding Pope, which I feel sounds like a pretty special, fun thing. Then again, we've already got Kid of Burden as our spear wielder. Do we pop another spear boy in? What do we think? What do you think? They're giving me novel ideas, scoundrel. Be careful. That's fairly psychopathic. I hope you're referring to the person who killed 10 people rather than my idea for a special farting horn chair. I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing. That's taking something pretty grim and turning it into something amazing. Robot in Progress says, a cupping apparatus to place your buttocks in. Just be careful not to force out too powerful a guff, else blockage will occur. Oh, yeah. You're going to need something equivalent to a spit valve on a trumpet, right? In fact, you could probably call it a shit valve, which would, I think, just feel right, you know? That feels like the right thing to call it. Even if it's not really, you know. I suppose you are releasing like poopy particulates as you fart, so it would sort of build up in the horn chair over time. Heavens above, like tar on the lungs of a smoker. Hello, Ura's Rune. A shit valve, isn't that just the sphincter? Yes, true. I suppose that is a perfect description of... well, not any sphincter, because the body is actually full of sphincters. A sphincter is a type of a constriction in your body. There's lots and lots of sphincters all the way up your intestines. In fact, I believe, could be wrong, so I may check this, but the muscle arrangement that causes the dilation and contraction of your pupils is a sphincter. So I think you've got sphincters in your eyes. Sphincters in your eyes, we're always dancing, sphincters in your eyes. I don't know, is that a song? What have I done? This is very strange. Do you have to sit naked on the throne? Well, I suppose you could wear those sort of trousers with a hatch, like out of the Bugs Bunny cartoons, right? I mean, you wear a t-shirt. I mean, you have to have at least your bum exposed, right? Or maybe not. Maybe not. But I feel like any kind of fabric betwixt the toot and the shoot, so to speak, is going to impede the noise. It's like putting a pop filter when all you want is pop, right? It is sphincters all the way down, and indeed, if you come from that end, all the way up. A ring of muscles surrounding and serving to guard or close an opening or tube, such as the anus or the openings of the stomach. Yes, the openings of the stomach. My favourite opening of the stomach is when I'm putting things in. And my second favourite is when I'm taking stuff out. Although not taking, because for some reason taking to me implies an act of like reaching in, whereas that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. Very rarely am I so backed up that I need a spoon to shit. That got weird. 1 hour in and the stream has gone to shite. Oh, Uruzrun, I think you're being too kind. I think you're being too kind. I think out of the gates it was already heading in this direction. We could all see where it was going. We got on the ship anyway, though. It's not like we've not known that this shipberg was coming over the horizon. In fact, I think we've even dodged a bullet. I was heading into some ludicrously dangerous territory earlier. Good God. I was about to begin a big old rant about war crimes, and that's never good. Nobody comes to a stream for war crimes unless they're streaming in international court. Anyway, should we see if we've got someone who can be a dungeon master? No, nobody has any relevant skills for the role of dungeon master. In which case, I'm just going to leave it. We do really want Oh, actually, I've got all the important ones done. Fuck it, let's leave it. Let's unpause for a second and go back. Make sure they're happy with their offices. They should be. They've got offices. You know what? Let's go down here and check that they do indeed have those offices I mentioned. Yeah. The mayor, though, the mayor's having a little bit of a moody poo. Oh, sorry. That's, thank you very much for pooping there. Thank you. Ba-dum-bum-bum. That got weird. How is that any more weird? Well, I just mean weird, not in a kind of like ooh way, just in a kind of way. If that makes any more sense. I know it doesn't. Sal says dungeon masters aren't a thing yet. I'll have you know that I've seen one. He was a little fella, about 1.5 feet tall, in a red cape with gold lining, and he had a haircut like my old headmaster. Bald on top, sort of grey on the sides, and then he gave some kids a little unicorn and some special treats, and then followed them around. It was a bit creepy, to be honest. Spoke like Yoda. Everyone remember that? Everyone remember that? Now we're going to do the food talk, and I'm going to make pizza as usual. Oh, righteous. I have a boiled egg in the fridge that I think I might have a go at during the break. Oh, question mark. It's supposed to happen. Ignore that. Editor, could you remove that for YouTube? There's no editor. There's no editor. Okay, so why is he not happy with his mayoral? Needs decent quarters. How in the fuck does he not have decent quarters? Surely... Oh, wait, is this... It's not even a bedroom. That's not the mayor's. That's not the mayor's. Oh, Sal! You're still the current odour of Orchimedes' bedroom. Oh, I think... Oh, no, he didn't take your job. He took a different job. He's going to have to move bedrooms. This one's auto-assigned to the bookkeeper. Oh, I think he already has. Why has he moved in and put your name on the thing, though? That's weird. Like, I know it's hard to get over these kind of things. The grieving process is long and difficult, but don't start putting her on official housing documents. That's mad. That's just weird. Okay, where's the mayor's bedroom? Come on, somebody show me the mayor's bedroom. I'm fairly certain I assigned a mayor's bedroom, didn't I? Let's look at the offices. If we can spot which office is the mayor's, that's the broker's office. So this is the broker's bedroom, correct? Yes, scoundrel. Assigned bed. Where's the broker? There's the broker. Lovely. Oh, no. Scrottux. I fucked it up. Let's try again. Okay. There's the broker. There's the broker's bloodthorn bed. And now we auto-allocate to the broker. Lovely. So whose is this? This is nobody's. What about this? This is the mayor's. Okay, so now the mayor does have a bedroom. Ah, there we go. Bosh. Enter. Assigned bed. to the mayor. Bang! And then we auto-allocate to the mayor. This belongs to the YouTubers, who are indeed the bookkeeper. So we assign it to the bookkeeper. It is already done. And then this one's for the manager. For the manager. Okay. Good. Okay, we've got that sorted. So if I come out of here now, give it a few seconds and check. Hooray. Nobles are all satisfied. Where is that guy who's always asking for the nobles to fight weird creatures and have unfortunate accidents? Where was he when they actually all got butchered by undead on the surface? They were killed by a severed fucking pig's head. Yes, that's the lad. Where? Ah, dear. There are IRL dungeon masters, some of which are not PG friendly. That's true. I have been a different kind of dungeon master in my time, but never a part of a sexy dungeon. No, that's never been my kind of thing. Sorry, Orchomedias, we'll be as gentle as possible. I know it's sad times. Sad times. Can we do the next fort on the surface? No tunneling into mountains, please. Maybe not the next one, because I just want to play this, what is supposed to be quite the prime location for a fortress. I want to play it my way. But the next one after that, I don't mind that. That doesn't seem crazy. Oh no, Sal. Oh no. Let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope that's not the case. Yikes. He's not doing a slightly less creepy Norman Bates, is he? It's only marginally less creepy because the corpse of the woman compelling him to kill people is his wife and not his mother. The only reason that would be less creepy is because in my mind, this is never made canon in any of the Psycho films, but in my mind he's banging the corpse, which would make sense with Archimedes in a way. Obviously not. Banging your wife's corpse, generally considered a little bit beyond the pale, but let's backpedal from this one. This has got quite dark. Ah shit, Dave's dead. Or at least his corpse has been located. Fuck. Let's quickly check to see, was he... Oh, Bum. Okay. I think what we've got here is the situation where all the people in our hospital are dying now. I haven't watched Psycho, now I will. I wish I'd watched the Psycho series, because I watched like a series of YouTube videos where people were talking about it, and it actually looks like it's actually a pretty decent series of movies. Like the first two definitely good, and the third one not too bad, and then it goes a little bit pear-shaped from there, but they're supposed to be good. They're dead, Dave. Dave, they're dead. There's my best Norman Lovett impersonation. Who apparently got quite pissy when he was replaced as Holly, even though it was his own fucking fault. Anyway, where were we? Yes, let's look into the hospital. Let's have a quick investigation into the Dwarven Health Service and see what's happening. Well, I see what's happening here. There are no free beds. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dwarves, all in apparently a parlous state. And if I look in the health screen, let's go as dwarf therapist, take a little peek at the health situation. Diagnosis and recovery, they've all been diagnosed. How many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we've definitely got more deads than beds. Well, not quite deads. Prospective deads. And we've got some more shit going on here. Plenty of lacerations, bruising. Oh dear. I'm not happy with the fact, excuse me, that both, well, not both, the YouTube viewers who we just gave a role in the fortress are currently in the hospital, or at least recovering. What have we got here? What's their problem? Diagnosis: needs crutch, cannot stand, unconscious, right foot broken, right lower leg fractured. That could be a lot worse. We could be seeing all sorts of problems, but we're not seeing serious stuff there. I mean, the people who've been cut, they're probably the worst off. Right foot, fifth toe, tissue smashed apart. What we got here? Right hand, thumb, tissue cut apart, tissue smashed apart. Ooh, it's got a sting. You don't want your thumb smashed. What about this lad? Thumb smash. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Cannot grasp, cannot stand, unconscious, left ankle, tissue cut apart, right wrist, tissue cut apart. Ooh, ouch. Oh god, this guy's not doing well. Who's this? Mincot. Okay, head, tissue smashed apart, tissue torn open. Likewise for the left foot and left foot third toe. Left hand, tissue torn open. Left knee, tissue smashed apart. Left lower leg, tissue torn apart. Left upper arm, tissue torn apart. Left upper leg, tissue torn open. Same true for the lower body. The neck has tissue smashed apart, tissue torn open. Right elbow, tissue smashed apart. Right foot, tissue torn open. Same for right hand, same for right lower arm, same for right upper arm, same for right upper leg, same for right wrist. Oh, sorry, no, the right wrist is smashed apart. And the upper body has tissue torn open. The upper spine, however, has got off relatively lightly and is only bruised. Now, I want to know that the diagnosis for this particular condition, or group of conditions, this syndrome, if you will, needs crutch. Whereas I would say he probably needs a suite of medical interventions rather than just a stick to put his weight on. Insanity. Okay, that guy is badly fucked up. And what about Erdim here? Also diagnosed. In fact, they've all been diagnosed as needing a crutch, which I feel like is missing the point. Then again, we don't have any diagnoses in the fortress, so they're essentially being wheeled into the hospital. Some guy is going, crutch. Yeah, that'll do. Crutch. You crutch. You crutch. Tell you what, let's just buy a big job lot of crutches. Done. Let's go down the pub. I mean, nice work if you can get it, right? Nice. So many tissues torn open. Somebody must really hate Kleenex. That's what it is. It can't possibly be any kind of... That's too graphic as wounding. It's just got to be like someone ripping apart tissue paper. It's got to be. It's got to be. Okay, so we really want to save these people, but we should have a full suite of materials required for the hospital now. We even have soap, for Christ's sake. Soap, buckets, powder for casts, crutches, splints, cloth. Okay, so we need a diagnoser. Oh, bastards. Sorry. Thank you, Sam. It's weird having my face on here, but not on there. Maybe we'll have to choose another photo. When we go back, we'll do it. You can remind me. Somebody remind me to put a different picture in there. So, where were we? Yes, we just need a diagnoser for the hospital, and then we're probably going to get some better medical instructions given. Oh, Jesus, how long have we been going for? An hour, and I haven't even touched the adamantine mines. Well, we are in a bit of a crisis, so it's probably a good time to give the rest of the fortress a little bit of love, right? A little bit of love! I am seeing a lot of adamantine armour in here, which is nice, although we still haven't got rid of this fucking bin. What's in it? Oh... Fucking bollocks. Okay, we've got to do a little bit of accounting. We've got to check to see if the armour's still available. I mean, I know Sal hoped that I would grieve her death more than the loss of the armour, but if we're going to be brutally honest, I've got to be I've got to be grieving more for the armour, because that was like a dream. That was almost the reason this fortress existed, right? The only reason I was still playing was the superb armour we had available. So let's do the adamantine. Is any of this shit forbidden? No. Well, that's a good sign, isn't it? That suggests it's not on a corpse. Let's have a little look at, if I say tab, these are in equipment. Let's do a little survey. I'll pick 5 random adamantine doohickeys and we will see what's going on with them. What about the blocky adamantine greaves, the artifacts? Let's have a little look where you are. No, don't forbid, you fuckwitted tip mark. There we go. Shift Z. That is... Oh shit! Fucking bollocks! Somewhere up here in this hideous fucking mess. Can we even get clothes off a corpse? Is that even an option? This Oronog, there's a fucking ghost up here as well. Bemble, he was the lad who was wearing the super armour, wasn't he? The adamantine mines would definitely increase the hospital workload. That's true. We should probably avoid doing them anything by here. I know, I think I said fucking shit tit bollocks, but I could be wrong. It was some cluster of swear words. Oh, I could do with a hot drink at this point. I'm feeling a little bit disheartened. A little bit irritated, to be honest. I'm kind of... I'm almost of a mind to have a hissy fit and can this fortress and not just like log out, but start driving it into the ground here. I mean, although, you know, protestations from chat will probably move that in a different direction. Oh, why is all our good shit out here? This is no fucking good, is it? What to do? Yeah, I suppose we could take a break. Get the squad up to 10 and try and kill the undead. Oh god, I feel like this is... Okay, it's not a definite. It's not a definite end to the fortress. That does make sense. I'd try for a little bit of the old Ruwenge. Although I would have liked to have had them trained up a bit more, right? That feels like it would have been a lot cooler. Alright, we're going to take a break. Those of you watching the YouTube video, thank you very much for doing so. You'll have to wait for the next one where we're going to sally forth into the field and try and suppress this undead situation. We'll see what happens. See you next time. Bye!